In the modern age of gaming, there are plenty of trends that have come and gone, but there is one that has been around for a while now and that I think is absolutely here to stay, and that trend is crossovers. Now crossovers, collabs, whatever you want to call them, they're by no means anything new as they've been around for a while. Hell, the last video I made was about a game with 10 years worth of crossovers. But no matter if they are new or old, we all see that they are everywhere and it's hard to find a game without them now. I don't think that collaborations between games or other forms of media are a bad thing. In fact, I like them. It's always cool to see something from one thing you like interact with the world or environment or whatever of another. But as much as I like this, to say that I'm annoyed with their presence in gaming now would be an understatement the size of the fucking moon. They are so present that many games' current relevancy relies on their crossovers. I don't know how you feel about them, but I have grown tired of them, and now I am confident that there is nothing that could ever change that for me. No matter where you look now, there is always some game with some upcoming event featuring characters from the new thing that's popular, whatever it may be. While I am annoyed that they are so common now, I'm mainly annoyed because they only really happen for two reasons now: money and unoriginality. I think a really good analogy for how I see most games now would be a late night talk show. The host and the person of interest of the night engage in a way that drives more people to their respective audiences, and they both reap the benefits. They're safe, sanitized for the masses, and constantly pumping out content related to the latest stuff. So where did this all start? Of course, like most modern trends that have been picked up by companies running low on creativity and money, this was especially popularized by Fortnite. In 2018, something crazy happened. Fortnite managed to score a crossover with Avengers Infinity War, which generated a lot of hype for the game, introducing a whole new established audience to it. Ever since this, Fortnite has managed to score tons of licenses, deals, many different things to help push it further to other people. Now you have things like Doom, Alien, Dragon Ball, all kinds of shit just walking around Fortnite. To put it simply, this game is essentially just an ad for whatever media has become the IP of the month, and the game has a gazillion players because they were able to reach so many audiences. But this is somewhat acceptable for Fortnite. Fortnite was always a casual game that was practically made for mass appeal. But what about when this kind of stuff happens with a game only to be a detriment? Let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty has notoriously been going through an identity crisis for the better part of over a decade. The games used to be known for their well-crafted stories and fun multiplayer modes.
I'm a pussy that use riot shield.
Now it's known to chase whatever trend is catching on, whether it was loot boxes, futuristic movement, their attempt at turning COD into a half-baked hero shooter. They were always chasing something, and this next thing was no different. Activision saw Fortnite's success with the battle passes and skin shop and thought to themselves, how about we get a piece of that pie? So they did that, but it wasn't enough. They wanted in on some of that crossover money too. And so, in 2020, they made a move so daringly stupid and reputation altering that to this day, I still have zero clue what the hell they were cooking with this. They collaborated with Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This was a sign for a lot of people. I don't know what made this trend chasing different from their other trend chasings, but it was still pretty effective in getting people to not play their game. I saw a lot of people rag on it simply for being a collaboration with something big and well known, but that wasn't even my problem. It's just that it was such an ill-fitting collab. What the fuck do Call of Duty and these two franchises even have in common? I guess people die. Sometimes they have guns. There's a story. This is so fucking dumb. It would be one thing if this was just some kind of limited time event for Warzone, but then they let you pay $15 to play as Billy with his fat ass head, and it looks stupid. Looking at these two on this wiki is like being in stage 4 and you see an x-ray from all the way when you were in stage 1. Bro, Donnie Dark? Like, what the fuck is he doing here? Okay, John McClane and Rambo. Okay, those are at least things from, like, action series. Dude, they did a collab with Xfinity? Fucking Wi-Fi company? Vanguard was like a World War II game. What the fuck is the Armored Titan from Attack on Titan doing here? Terminator? We got fucking robots running around? Oh yeah, you can play as Godzilla and fucking King Kong too. They put fucking 21 Savage in Oh wait, dude. Oh, I remember this. Ew. Bro, like they made him look so ugly in Modern Warfare 2. What the fuck? If I was ever in a meeting with Activision and I was like, I want to put my thing in your game, and they handed me something that looked like this, I would just slaughter everyone in that room. That is egregious. Yo, that is not Ash. That is just a guy. I've never played Diablo. I saw this, and I really did think it was just like the Dark Lurker from Dark Souls 2. Bro, Nicki... Oh, dude, I forgot about the Nicki Minaj collab. This isn't even Homelander. This is just Anthony Starr dressed up as Homelander. I think the most egregious, like, things that, like, Call of Duty did with their crossovers were these shitty Black Cell variants. Like, okay, you got Rick Grimes, which, again, not even stylized. This is just Andrew Lincoln. And then right after that, you get this shitty Black Cell version where he's like crying gold and he has purple eyes. This is like Call of Duty's versions of like the blighted skins from fucking Dead by Daylight. They just look bad. Dude, these fucking Fallout collabs, these are like peak consumerism. These aren't even like characters from Fallout. It's just like, hey guys, we took your favorite characters from Call of Duty and we put them in a Vault Tech suit. As bad as most of these crossovers are, there's a specific type that I've seen rise in popularity recently, and I think these are the worst kind. And that would be real people in video games. It's one thing to do something with a franchise or series, but it's another thing entirely to slap a real fucking person into a game. And I don't mean just using a celebrity's appearance or likeness, I mean just straight up the person is in the game. If you ask me, I think this is easily the most soulless kind of collaboration. With other franchises, it's at least cool to see two worlds interact. With this though, it just seems like your game is stapling a sign to its forehead saying, hey, come check out your favorite celebrity. And I get that that's literally every advertisement for everything ever, but at least in a movie they play a character. If I went to see a movie and Kevin James was just himself with no character, story, motive, or arc, just him, I wouldn't want to watch that. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule in certain select scenarios. I know it was the subject of the last video, but let's take Dead by Daylight for example. The Nicolas Cage pack is silly, but he has at least been in a fair amount of horror movies. He fits with the theme of the game. I'm still not a huge fan of this chapter, but at least they got something related to horror and they didn't just put, I don't know, Adam Sandler in the game. Now let's look at PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. What the fuck does Neymar gotta do with any of this? He's just here. He doesn't fit in with anything. If he was in a soccer game, maybe, but no. I don't even know if Neymar has held a gun before. If these games want to do so many crossovers, I think there is really only one way to do it right. And if there is one series that I think did its crossovers right, it's... Now, I have a lot that I want to say about these games, but that's a video for another time, so we'll just speak on the collaborations. Payday has done plenty of crossovers since the series started in 2011, the first of which being with Left 4 Dead. In July of 2012, the No Mercy heist was added where the Payday gang robs the Mercy Hospital from the Left 4 Dead campaign of the same name. This was awesome because the game was directly inspired by many of Left 4 Dead's fundamental game design choices, specifically the co-op horde shooter parts. It was fun to see these two acknowledge each other and come together to allow something like this. Then Payday 2 came around and there were plenty of other crossovers. They got Hotline Miami, Scarface, John Wick, Hardcore Henry, so many more. There was even a planned Baby Driver DLC, but that never came out. You could play as characters from these series, they had playable missions attached to them, their own weapons. These crossovers brought plenty of content to the table for players. And the best part was that it wasn't tied to a $20 legendary skin bundle. These DLCs cost you $5 a pop. And you wanna know what I really like about these crossovers so much? These crossovers made sense in the context of the Payday universe and vice versa. These series are all known for their action and intense moments, so being in a game like Payday where they can participate in even more action enhances the experience. Of course, there is one crossover that they did that everyone agrees sucks, but we don't, talk about that one. And of course, Payday 3 has had a few since it came out. They brought Jacket from Hotline Miami back, so that was cool. Then they did a collab with PUBG. A little unexpected, but it makes more sense than fucking Neymar. Like I said earlier, I don't hate crossovers, but their overabundance has made them lose all of their spark. Nowadays, it's pretty much expected that your game has 20 bazillion crossovers if you want to stay relevant, so it's not like I can fault most of them for just playing by the rules that have been set by the industry. Also, don't hate on the dev teams of these games for these things, because most of the time these choices are absolutely made by executive suits who sit on billions of dollars on private islands where they do unspeakable things. They don't care if it makes sense, they care about how much money it puts in their bank accounts. I bet the meetings that Overkill and Epic had whenever they acquired the licenses for John Wick were like night and day. Ladies and gentlemen, we got John Wick. Hey guys, we got John Wick.